Thanks for joining me for this leg pulley workout. We'll be doing both single leg and double leg pulley work. Today I'm using a Total Gym Fit, but you can use any Total Gym model. If you're not sure how to use the leg pulley system, be sure to check out my leg pulley video for instructions before starting. I'll leave a link in the video description. When you're doing the workout, think about proper positioning. Work within your own range of motion. Your range of motion may be greater or less than mine. Think about maintaining a neutral spine. Leaving a small natural arch in your low back is okay. You don't need to press your low back into the glide board, but do think about keeping your hips and tailbone on the board. Also, engage your core and keep a connection with your rib cage so your ribs aren't popping up. Let's get started with our single leg pulley work on the right leg.
Blast off, blast off.
Pull the glide board up the rails, take a seat towards the bottom of the glide board, and then connect your pulley rope to the outside O-ring on your ankle cuff. We're going to start with some leg lifts, so point your toe as you lift your leg up and then flex as you press your leg down. Work within your range of motion, making sure to keep your hips on that glide board. Let's reverse and keep our foot flexed as we bring it up, and point our toe as we press our leg down. As you press your leg down, think about reaching your toe towards that wall in front of you. You should feel a nice extension through your hip. Let's transition to the leg press. Bring your knee towards your chest and then press through your heel. As you drive through the heel, you should squeeze your glute. Let's continue with the leg press, but now in a turned out position. So turn out at the hip and your knee and your toe should follow. Again, driving through that heel and squeezing your glute as you press away. From here, we're going to transition to leg circles. So sweep your leg out wide with a pointed toe up towards the ceiling and then down towards the midline. Again, extend that toe towards that wall in front of you to get that nice extension and stretch through your hip. Let's reverse our circles, going out wide, sweeping our leg down and up again. Again, stay in control of your hips and your pelvis. If you feel yourself rocking, just make your circles a little bit smaller. Next, we'll transition to side lying exercises. So place that leg that's in the pulley on the glide board to brace yourself and turn over to your side. Our first exercise is going to be a leg lift in a parallel position. So flex your foot and keep your leg parallel to the floor. As you bring your leg down, squeeze your glutes, your inner thigh, and your quadricep muscle. And as you're doing these exercises, breathe in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. We'll transition next to that turned out position, so turn out at your hip. Point your toe as you lift your leg up and flex as you bring your leg down. In this turned out position, you should get a greater range of motion. And as you press it down, make sure again you're squeezing your glute, your inner thigh, and your quadricep muscles. We're going to reverse that, keep the foot flexed as we lift up, and then point our toe as we press down. As you press down with that pointed toe, reach your toe towards that wall in front of you. It's a great way to activate the muscles of the leg. Next, we'll go into sweep and extend, so flex your foot as you sweep your leg forward and then press your leg back with a pointed toe. You should feel a nice stretch of your hamstring as you sweep that leg forward. Next is the leg press in a parallel position, so keep your foot flexed, bring your knee towards your chest, and then press out, driving through that heel, squeeze in the glute as you press back. From here we're going to go into that turned out position, so turn out at the hip, and then again press through the heel, bringing your knee in towards your chest, and squeezing your glute as you press away. From here, transition to leg circles, circling our legs forward, pointing that toe, trying to reach the wall in front of you. Make sure you keep your legs engaged, squeezing your quads. And let's reverse our circles. Make sure you're controlling the ropes and the ropes aren't controlling you. So make sure that you're engaging your core muscles and your legs so you're staying in control of those ropes. For this last group of exercises, we're going to turn onto our stomach, but before we do that, lower down and then change the position of your leg pulley so it's connected to the O-ring on the back of your leg cuff. We'll start with a prone leg curl, so squeeze your inner thigh and your knees together. Flex your foot and press down. Make sure you're squeezing your glute and your hamstrings as you press down. And when you're fully extended, also think about squeezing your quadricep muscle. Keep your shoulders down your back as you're in this prone position. Let's transition to a quadruped position. So coming up on your knees and placing your forearms on the glide board, we'll go into a donkey kick. So press your leg straight back, driving through your heel, squeezing your glutes as you press away. We'll transition now to a turned out position. So lift your leg off to the side. I like to refer to it as a fire hydrant pose. Then press your heel off onto an angle, squeezing your glutes as you press away. Let's carefully come off the glide board, place your foot on the floor, grab your pulley rope, and guide your glide board down the rails, then detach the pulley from your leg cuff. We're going to repeat those same exercises on the left leg. And you're not imagining things, I did flip the total gym around, so my back isn't to you when I'm doing the side lying work. Go ahead and get in position and we'll start in a few seconds. We'll start with leg lifts just like before. Keep a pointed toe as you lift your leg up and flex your foot as you pull your leg down. Continue with the flexed foot as we raise our leg up and point the toe as we press our leg down, squeezing through the quadricep as you press down and reaching your toe towards that wall in front of you. Next, let's transition to that leg press, pulling your knee in towards your chest and then pressing through that heel. Squeeze your glutes as you push away with a flexed foot. Let's transition to the turned out position, so turning out at your hip, bringing your knee in towards your chest and then driving out, flexing your glutes as you press through that heel. Let's transition to our leg circles. So circling out wide, bringing your leg up and then down toward the midline. Keep your toe pointed. Now let's reverse directions. Make sure you keep your pelvis stable. Keep your hips planted on the glide board. If you have to, you can limit your range of motion to keep yourself stable on the glide board. Let's transition to our side. Place that foot that's in the pulley on the glide board to brace the glide board as you turn onto your side. We'll start with those leg lifts in a parallel position. Keep your foot flexed as you raise it up. And squeeze your inner thighs, your glutes, and your quadriceps as you pull that leg down. Next, we'll transition into that turned out position, turning out at your hip. Point your toe as you lift your leg up and flex as you press down. You should get a greater range of motion here in this turned out position. Squeeze your glutes and your inner thigh as you pull that leg down. Now let's keep the foot flexed as we raise it up and point the toe as we press down. Really focus on extending through that hip as you point the toe, pressing down. Let's go into our sweep and extend, flexing the foot as we sweep our leg forward, pointing the toe as we extend our leg back. Feeling a nice stretch along the hamstring and in the hip flexor. Now we'll transition to the leg press, drawing your knee towards your chest and then pressing out through that heel. Keep your leg in a parallel position with a flexed foot, squeezing the glutes as you press away. Now we'll transition to that turned out position, continuing with our leg press, driving through the heel with a flexed foot and squeezing the glute and inner thigh as you press away. Now you'll transition to your leg circles. Keep your leg in that turned out position with a pointed toe, stretching your toe, trying to reach that wall in front of you. Keep your pelvis stable, and if you need to, just limit the size of your circles. Let's reverse directions. Let's transition onto our stomachs. So lower yourself down so you can detach the carabiner and reattach it to the O-ring on the back side of your leg cuff. Let's start with the leg curl. So I really want you to focus on squeezing your legs together. Your inner thighs, your knees should be touching. Extend down and squeeze your glutes and your hamstring. And then when you're in that extended position, pause for a second, squeezing your quadricep. It should feel similar to a leg extension machine you might find at your local gym. And of course, throughout this, you're keeping a flexed foot. Let's transition to the quadruped position. So moving up onto your knees, placing your forearms on your glide board. Let's go into those donkey kicks. Keeping a flexed foot as you push through the heel and squeeze your glute as you extend your leg behind you. Let's go into the turned out position, so lifting your leg off to the side and then driving through that heel, pressing your leg out on an angle. Let's transition off the glide board. So place that foot that's in the pulley onto the floor. Stay in control of your glide board. Lower it down to the bottom and then detach your pulley. Let's get ready for our double leg work. So I'm going to remove my tow bar. I'm going to detach the leg pulley rope from the glide board and then attach my extension rope to that O-ring. Grab the pulley ropes and then attach one to each of your leg cuffs. Attach it to that outer O-ring on your leg cuffs. Stay in control of the ropes. Push your glide board up the rail. Take a seat towards the bottom of your glide board and then roll back into position. Let's start with our leg lifts. Squeezing our legs together, extending our legs up with a pointed toe and flexing the foot as we bring our legs down. Now let's reverse that. Keep the foot flexed as we lift our legs up. Point the toe as we press down. Just work within your own range of motion. Keep your hips on the glide board. If you find yourself lifting your hips off the board, just don't go up quite as high with your legs. We'll continue with the leg lifts, but this time separate your legs, but keep them parallel to one another. Pointing your toes as you bring your legs up and then flexing the foot and pressing down with the heel. This should feel a little bit more challenging. Now let's keep the legs flexed or the foot flexed as we bring our legs up and point the toe as we press down, extending those toes towards the wall in front of you, feeling the extension through your hips. We'll continue with our leg lifts, but this time go into that turned out position, pressing your heels together. Keep your heels pressed together throughout, pointing your toe as you extend your legs up and flexing as you bring your legs down. Now let's keep the foot flexed as we bring our legs up and point the toe as we press down. Flex up and then press down. Keep those legs turned out with the heels pressed together as we go into our leg press. I'm extending my toes out as I press out and flexing as I pull back in. If you like, you can reverse the pattern, pressing with a flexed foot and pointing as you bring your legs back in. Let's continue with those leg presses, but separate your legs. Keep your legs parallel to one another with a flexed foot, and then drive through those heels, squeezing your glutes as you press away. Now let's squeeze our legs together, keeping our foot flexed as we continue with those leg presses, pulling your knees in towards your chest, and then driving your legs out through those heels. Next, we're going to transition into short spine prep. It just requires a little bit more coordination. Extend at a 45-degree angle, turn out at the hip, pressing your heels together. Lift your legs up towards the ceiling, bend at the knee, pulling your legs in towards your chest, and then press out again on that 45-degree angle. Lift your legs up, bend at the knees, pulling in towards the chest, and then press out onto a 45-degree angle. Keep your heels pressed together throughout the entire exercise. And let's repeat this one more time. Legs up, bend at the knee, press out onto the 45. Now let's open and close our legs out to the side, so keep a pointed toe as you reach your legs out. Flex your foot as you draw your legs back in towards the center. Just work within your range of motion. If you like, you can go out wider if you have that flexibility. Again, keep your hips on the glide board. Now let's reverse that with a flex foot as we extend out and point our toes as we draw our legs back together. Flex and point. And let's do that one more time, flexing out and pointing our toes as we bring our legs back together. From here we'll go into our leg circles. So extend your legs out wide with a pointed toe, bring your legs up towards the ceiling and then press down through the midline, working within your own range of motion. Keep your hips on the glide board. If you need to, just make the circle smaller and don't lift your legs up quite as high. Let's reverse our circles. Keep your toe pointed. Extend through your pointed toe, trying to reach that wall out in front of you. Should feel a nice extension through your hips and through your legs. We're going to end our workout with some gentle stretches. So the first one is called the Peter Pan. So keep your feet flexed. Draw one heel in towards your midline and extend your other leg off to the side. And we can just move back and forth between these two, extending one leg off to the side and drawing the other heel towards your midline. Keep your glide board still as you move between each leg. Let's grab the ropes and go into a bend and stretch. So just stretching our legs off to our side, bending at the knee and then stretching back out. Keep a flex foot, and as you extend your legs out, you can push through that heel. You can grab the ropes to help get a deeper stretch, pulling your legs closer toward your chest to get a deeper stretch of your hamstrings. If you like, you can also rock back and forth in this extended position. Let's go into our figure 4 stretch. Bring that right ankle onto your left knee. Bend your left knee. As you pull that left knee in towards your chest, you'll get a deeper stretch on the right side of your outer hip and thigh. Let's switch legs now, putting that left ankle on the right knee. You can gently move in and out of these stretches and just go a little bit deeper with each stretch. Let's end our workout with a butterfly stretch or a Buddha stretch. So bend at the knee and bring the soles of your feet together. Rock forward through the spine. Lift your tailbone up off the glide board as you bring your knees up towards your chest. And as you press down, you can arch your lower back. Just get some articulation into that lower spine as you rock forward and then rock back off your tailbone. Thanks so much for joining me for this leg pulley workout. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching.